Was all A's. Bob Melvin and the boys came to Kansas City and rattled off 16 runs in a shutout of the Royals. Yesterday, the Royals countered, striking early, fending off an A's comeback, and then delivered in the 8th with a dramatic home run, sending the crowd home happy. Today, it's the rubber game and a series the Athletics need to take as the evolution of this young team is beginning to take shape. A's and Royals coming up next. It's a beautiful summer day in Kansas City. It is also the rubber game of the series. We are at Kauffman Stadium. Lots of sunshine today. It is the Oakland A's and the Kansas City Royals coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Daniel Gossett's going to get the start this afternoon here in Kansas City. He's part of a rotation that it's really been in flux for most of the year, Ray, but to this group's credit, they have settled in, and they've pitched pretty well lately. Look at the numbers. The last 18 games, the ERA of 3.16. Migden's been great, but all in all, this group, even though a lot of guys in and out, they've done a pretty good job.
That's a great point, Kai, but I think also about the back end of the bullpen. So if the starters can continue to pitch well, pitch 6 to 7 innings, and then turn it over to the back end of the bullpen, a guy like Daniel Gossett, the one thing Scott Emerson said, he needs to repeat his delivery, his release point. He did it in his first game, second game, not so much. When he elevated too many pitches, had the back-to-back home runs. So he's a key part of this rotation right now. He's getting another chance, and that's all these guys need.
And that kind of leads us to our second subject matter, Jonathan Lucroy. He was a late sign. Now he's given the A's some pretty good offensive production down in the lineup, but really I think the most important thing he's doing is he's kind of holding that pitching staff together.
Really, and everything he does offensively, got his 1,000th hit on Friday night, got a triple also. But the bottom line, this should be a bonus for the Athletics because they know exactly what he can do behind the plate. You look at what Sean Manaea did in his no-hitter, did not shake once, did not shake the next time. The confidence that these pitchers have in Jonathan Lucroy when he's behind the plate is exceptional, and I think that's why they do well.
And a late signing and a pretty good bargain for the Athletics, and the A's are thrilled to have Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate here in 2018. Now stick around. Up next, we will head back to the guys in the studio, and then after that, we'll talk a little bit about the A's defense in this series. It's been pretty darn good, and we'll have lineups and first pitch. A's and Royals coming up.
every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. Only at Jack in the Box.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City as we get set for the rubber game of this three-game series between the Athletics and the Royals. And it's time now for the Smart Play, brought to you by your California Ford dealers. How about the A's defense in this series? Match happened right in the middle of most of the action. No surprise there, but in the two games in this series, the A's have turned 4 double plays and they have not made an error. So you do that and you're going to win some games. And again, double play. Watch Trevor Cahill. So the pitcher helping himself out as well. So the 4 double plays, the Smart Play, brought to you by your California Ford dealers. Minutes away from first pitch from Kansas City. It's the A's and the Royals, so stick around. Boy, it's a beautiful day here in Kansas City. Nice and sunny with a nice breeze to kind of keep things cool. And it's the rubber game of the series today between the Athletics and the Kansas City Royals. So the A's, of course, won big on Friday night. And yesterday, it was a good ball game, Ray. It was an interesting game. The A's came back, but for the home team taking the lead in the bottom of the eighth is always super tough when you're on the road.
You know, as we talked, a great comeback by the Athletics, but when you allow the closer to come in the ninth inning to save a game, you'd love to have him to come in and try to get his club back in the bottom of the ninth, because figure closer's going to pitch one inning. Didn't work out because Soler hitting the 2-strike home run. That was a big blow. Allowed Herrera to come in and save the game.
Let's check the game time weather today. It's presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 81 degrees. And you see the wind gusts at 15 miles an hour, so it is a little breezy today, but feels good. A nice crowd again today here at Kauffman Stadium. All right, so lineup time. Let's start with the Athletics lineup, which is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And today, Dustin Fowler is going to be in the leadoff spot. Marcus Semien will hit second. Jed Lowry third. Chris Davis in the normal cleanup spot. Then it's Olson and Chapman hitting 5 and 6. Piscotty hits 7th. Canna 8th. And Lucroy 9th.
And as Keim said, one of the better starters on the Royals, that is Jake Junis, who's going to make the start in the rubber game of the series. A record of 5 and 4, the .361 earned run average, making his 12th start. He had a start against the A's last year, also a game in relief. His major league debut came against the Athletics. That was in relief, but had a start, pitched well, 6 innings, picked up the win against the Athletics. But good stuff, and you can see, and then we'll talk about, he throws his fastball, but he also has a great assortment of pitches that he's not afraid to use anytime.
Defensively, the Royals, who have made just 21 errors this year, second fewest in the American League. They got Gordon, Jay, and Soler in the outfield. Moustakas, Escobar, Goins, and Merrifield on the infield. Salvador Perez, the Gold Glover, is behind the plate. So Junis has finished up his warm-up tosses. The Royals wearing the light blue tops again today, and for the A's, the all-gray road uniform. So, rubber game of the series. Dustin Fowler digs in, and we're set for baseball. It'll be Fowler, Semien, and Lowry against the Royals' 25-year-old right-hander Jake Junis.
Okay, we talked about Dustin Fowler, about being perhaps a leadoff hitter in the future. He is again today. It's about a couple of times that he has been the leadoff hitter. He's got to be able to add some pop home run-wise, but he's also smart enough to realize at the top of the order, wants to set the table for the middle part.
That's a strike. 1-1 the count to Fowler. Umpires today: Corey Blazer calling balls and strikes. Stu Shearwater is at first. Eric Cooper at second. And that is the crew chief right there, Gary Cederstrom. And he will take over the third base spot. 1-2 to Dustin Fowler, hitting .204, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs.
Set some pop in his bat. You go opposite field for your first home run, and you go to center field here for your third home run. It's doing something.
Strike 3 called. Looked like a backdoor breaking ball, and that's how the ball game starts.
Well, that's the good curveball that he does possess, along with a slider and changeup. And Junis not really overpowering with his fastball, but if he can do this, I mean, that is a great strike. And Salvador Perez bringing up what was already a good strike and bringing it up more in the strike zone. But thrown hard, down, great spin on it, and gets the strikeout.
Pitchcast is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. Here's the breakdown for Junis. Lots of fastballs, lots of sliders. So when you see a guy with a high amount of sliders or curveballs, that's the go-to pitch. And the league hitting just 154 against that slider.
That's probably why last year, Cap, when he made his debut as a relief pitcher, because sinker slider, you throw your slider and your fastball 2 and 4 seam a lot. Hey, it works fast too, Cap.
And there it is, another slider, and Marcus Semien chases it. Yeah, he's ready to rock and roll.
Well, there's the breaking ball, and again, the key for those breaking pitches for the strikeouts, both of them down low. One in the strike zone, that was the one to Fowler in the back door, but the one to Semien was out of the strike zone, but it's tempting for a hitter to see what looks like a strike and swing at it.
This one is popped up down the left field line. Gordon, a long run, and Gordon, fair territory, makes the catch. So that is a 9-pitch first inning for Jake Junis as the A's go quietly. Airlines. Here it is. John Jay, Whit Merrifield, and then Mike Moustakas. Moustakas tied for 9th in the American League in RBIs. Perez, Soler, the hero yesterday, and Gordon, and Dozier, Escobar, and Goins.
And Daniel Gossett gets the start for the Athletics today. And for Gossett, as we talked about in his last start, he elevated too many pitches and as a result gave up home runs. Too many of us, Matt. Matter of fact, how about back to back to back? So repeat the delivery, get the ball down, and do what Jonas did, and that's try to have a very effective quick inning.
First pitch to Jay is a fastball a little bit inside. John Jay, Whit Merrifield, Mike Moustakas, the first 3 hitters for the Royals. In first right. Gossett's last start, Ray talking about the 3 home runs in a row. That was against the Rays. He went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits and the 3 runs. It was a game the A's lost 4-3. That was Monday night.
Well, had it not been for the home runs, it might have been a different story. But man, just the same inning, 2 out, 2 strikeouts, and then the back to back to back. Crone, Wendell, and Ramos.
Foul straight back.
They were not cheapies either.
John Jay in this series, 2 for 8. And a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Slaps that one foul. Quick look at the A's defense. It has Canna in left, Fowler in center, Piscotty in right. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Olsen, with Jonathan Lucroy doing the catching. Talked about Jonathan Lucroy in the open of our show, not only offensively but defensively. Now he really has helped out this rotation that has been in flux. A lot of guys in and out. Canna's there. He makes the catch.
Well, this is what we're talking about in the dreadful inning for Daniel Gossett, striking out the first 2, but then C.J. Crone breaking ball. That was up a little bit too much. He drove to the left field, and then Joey Wendell, the changeup that he pulled over the scoreboard in right field, and then Ramos, what a shot to right field, opposite field, and that was it. Back to back to back. But every one of those pitches were up. You can see the location, and for a pitcher, unless you're throwing 100, you have to keep the ball down.
This season, 4 home runs in 19 1/3 innings. But in AAA, it was not an issue. Last year, with the A's, the home runs were an issue. So, I don't know, Ray, I guess it's just big league level.
Yep.
you're going to get hurt with mistakes much more than you are in AAA.
And we talk about it all the time about how home runs are hit on mistake pitches. And that's exactly what happened in his last start.
And you talk about it a lot, how most home runs, in fact, almost all home runs are really pitchers' mistakes. But it's a great graphic because it just tells you the difference between AAA and the big league.
Absolutely. Well, you talk about maybe not hitting mistakes there, and you get the big leagues, hitters hit mistakes and they play better defense. That's probably the biggest thing for whether pitchers or position players at this level. The defense is spectacular.
And there's the walk. Well, how about this too, Ray? If you have the ability to consistently hit mistakes out of the ballpark, you're not going to be in AAA anyway.
that's a good point.
You're going to be in the big league.
That's a great point. Great point. Yeah.
Well, today any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. So 1-out walk to Merrifield. He's been on base a whole bunch in this series, and here's Moustakas. Moustakas 276, having a good year, 12 homers, 39 RBIs.
Well, Matt Chapman talking to Jed Lowry as Marcus Semien is over. Let's see, I think that's the way it is with Matt Chapman, Lowry.
Yep, Chapman's at the shortstop spot.
Yeah. But the one thing that they're talking about, that if a ball is hit to Lowry, it's going to be the third baseman. I mean, that's the confusion at times whenever you have the shift.
So you're saying if a ball's hit to Lowry and you're going to start a double play, is Chapman or Semien going to be covering? I mean, it certainly looks like Chapman. I think it would be a really hard play for Marcus Semien to make, because he'd have to kind of look over his left shoulder behind him for the ball.
And that's just like we saw Moustakas throw the ball to Escobar. Those little soft tosses, like your quarterbacks that can do that, which I don't see how they do it. They have that little soft toss. But you're doing that instead of guys throwing hard on an attempted double play. With a shift, it's a much different throw.
And you know what? You also have to take into consideration the ball right back to the pitcher.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure Chapman and Semien have it all figured out. Merrifield is a base stealing threat. He's got 12. He's 12 for 15 this year. So that's a good number. Overall, the Royals are 11th in the American League in total steals. They got 27. So most of them coming from Whit Merrifield. He's got a good lead. Moustakas toward Chapman, who scoops it, flips to Semien, and a nice job by Marcus Semien. He's played a little second base in his career, and he showed it there. No score after one. That Oracle coverage begins at 3 p.m. with a special edition of Warriors Outsiders. Then it's Warriors Playoff Central before and after the game. It all starts on NBC Sports Bay Area. Game 2. Warriors Cavs. Don't know if it could be more exciting than Game 1 was. Game 1 was something. Game 1 was one of those, if you're the Warriors, you just tiptoe back to the locker room and go, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Man, I can't believe we won.
How
that.
did we do
Oh
that?
My God. 1-1 to Chris Davis. Davis, Olsen, and Chapman here in the second inning. Junis with an impressive first inning, a couple of strikeouts. With the draft coming up tomorrow, keep this in mind. Jake Junis was a 29th round pick of the Kansas City Royals in 2011. 29. Not 29th pick, 29th round.
That's
There's
a
big
whole
difference.
bunch of players.
So you never know. Sterling, Illinois.
That's probably the reason right there. Where the heck Sterling, Illinois?
That's true. Cold weather.
Yeah, probably about 10 games.
And Davis swings and misses at that breaking ball.
Took a lot off that pitch and had Chris Davis way out in front. And Salvador Perez catching all 3 games. That ball actually in the dirt. But a chase breaking ball and got him to fish for it. And that was a 2-2 pitch too. That makes it even more special to get a chase call.
So here's Matt Olson. Shift is on. Swing and a miss. Junis made his major league debut last year on the 12th of April, and he did it right here against the Athletics. Ended up making 16 starts last year and 4 relief appearances for Kansas City, and he went 9-3. And that earned him a spot in the rotation coming into this year.
Well, Matt Olson, a couple of home runs on Friday. The first one, a high fastball from Ian Kennedy. He liked it so well, the fastball. He threw him one 0-2, and he hit one to right center. So 2 swings, 4 ribbies, 2 home runs, 1 got wet. And that swing in which he fouled the ball to the left side. We've seen Matt Olson do a good job against lefties, hitting the ball to the left side. Simusaka's the only on the left side of the infield. But it seemed like he was trying to hit the ball that he fouled over the third base dugout, try to hit it that direction.
Another strikeout.
And they're all on the same pitch, Kate.
And they're all out of the strike zone.
Yeah, they're all the breaking pitch.
Except Fowler was looking, but well, I take that back.
That was straight.
I thought that was a breaking ball.
I did too.
And it was a fastball, really right down the middle.
Yeah. I thought it was a breaking ball too, the way he swung at it. But good on the replay and showed it was a fastball at 92.
So 2 outs for Chapman. Chapman at 234 with 9 homers, 24 runs batted in. He is 3 for 8 in this series. He has also walked a couple of times, scored a couple of runs. This one is popped up shallow center. That's John Jay coming in. John Jay waits. He has it. And that's a 12-pitch inning for Jake Junis. 6 up, 6 down. Hey, Xfinity X1 customers, say show me the Oakland A's in your X1 voice remote. Get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. It's a warm day. Where we are headed, we're headed to Dallas, Arlington. It's supposed to be in the upper 90s, but we expect that this time of year going down to Texas. A's will have an off day tomorrow. Salvador Perez hits one very high to left field. Marcana battling that sunshine. He's got it. A's will play Tuesday night and Wednesday night against the Rangers, and then back home for another nice long homestand. So we're looking forward to that.
You know, the most important thing, you could kind of look at an off day the next day following a big game, and this one, the rubber game of the series. That's the highest guy, and you know, the A's are very familiar with the highest guys at the Coliseum and Oakland whenever they play, so that should be okay for them. But it's kind of like the All-Star break. When you know you have 4 days coming up, you can care less about the weekend before. Well, this is a good time to really push yourself, because you get to enjoy the off day tomorrow, but you need to push to win the series today to make tomorrow a very enjoyable day, especially the staff. Because you know the manager and the coaching staff are going to care a lot about what happens today. Players are too, but staff for sure is going to be really paying attention to it.
0-2 to Jorge Soler, and he takes a little bit inside. Soler, game-winning hit yesterday in the bottom of the 8th inning.
See the location of that pitch and how he had to reach out and pull it. Petit just made one of his few bad pitches, and it cost the A's that home run. The thing is, as hard as Soler swings, even with 2 strikes, you can't make a mistake because he'll take advantage of it.
And he actually kind of kept his hands back a little bit on that.
Yeah, just enough.
Piscotty is right there, and Piscotty grabs it. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd, and that'll bring up Alex Gordon. The Royals coming in with a 21-37 record. They have really struggled at home. They're 10-20 at home. And as I look at the home records around Major League Baseball, well, the White Sox are 9-19, and the Reds are 9-19. So it has been a struggle here at home for the Royals. They will travel after the game. They will come to the West Coast. 3 at the Angels Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 at the Coliseum. So we'll see a lot of the Kansas City Royals next weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the Royals will head west.
The A's can watch the Royals and the Angels play tomorrow night, because the A's will be off while these 2 teams will be playing. Last night, a great celebration of sorts with Albert Pujols as they celebrated his 3,000th hit. And his catcher on the ceremonial first pitch was Adrian Beltre. That was great. Over 6,000 hits between them. There's Albert with the 600 home runs. I mean, he's first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. Beltre as well. So nice that both of them were out there to celebrate together.
So Gordon with a 2-out walk. And that'll break him. Hunter Dozier, who played first base on Friday night. He is DHing today, did not play yesterday. Dozier was 1 for 4 on Friday. Dozier was first-round draft pick of the Royals in 2013. Dozier from Argyle, Texas. Won the count. Straightaway defense for the A's. Chapman on the backhand. He'll throw on the run, throw in time to get Dozier, and that will do it. Runner stranded for the Royals. We're through 2 from Kansas City, no score. Scotty, Canna, and Lucroy. Popped up. A lot of sunshine, not an easy play, and it's going to be Goins who grabs it, straddling the line, and that's the first out.
Fans enjoy an early July the 4th with the A's for the July 3rd Patriotic Fireworks Show presented by Chevrolet. You can now win a free suite to the game. That's right. Free suite for you and 11 of your closest friends. Simply text BOOM to 60946. The contest will last through June the 18th. Message and data rates do apply. Again, simply text BOOM to 60946. You can see complete rules at athletics.com.
All right.
Nothing better than a suite with all your friends. I know, Cap, you would have to have a list and do a lottery to see who's going to come.
Yes. Since the last time we talked about that, I have not been able to get to 24. Is it? Then how many I get in
just
there?
11 more.
12. 12 friends.
You'd have to buy a bigger suite.
Yeah.
11 suite, that's just 12 seat.
You know, when you send out an invitation, you get yes, no, maybe. I just got a lot of maybes.
They'll all show up. Hey, where's my ticket?
2-1 the count to Mark Canna. Okay, the Major League Draft is tomorrow. Wanted to remind you that. We talked about it on Friday. The A's will pick 9th in the first round. So they'll be picking early. I'm going to watch.
That'd be a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Detroit Tigers will have the first pick. There's a line drive down the left field line. Fair. Moustakis made an effort, couldn't get it. Canna's going to hustle for second, and he's got a 1-out double. First hit for the A's. It's a double by Canna.
Well, Mark Canna does not ever disappoint anybody. For some reason, I mean, he's just a great hitter, great player, and he takes everything, every at-bat seriously. And this ball coming in on his hands, running in on him. A rare pitch that Junis lifted up a little bit, but it ran into the swing of Mark Canna and hammered it past Moustakis. So 1-out double. The A's a couple of opportunities to get him in from second. Mark is really proven. I mean, every time, if he's sitting down at AAA, he doesn't complain. He just goes down and plays better and comes back.
First pitch to Lucroy is a strike.
It's always a credit to a player if they are sent to the minor leagues. It's always tough, but you go down there with an intention of getting back here as quickly as possible, and Canna has done that.
Lucroy, 263. He's got a homer, 12 RBIs. And he's got a base hit left center field, and that's going to give the A's an early lead. Canna rounds third. He'll score. So Lucroy comes through. Picks up his 13th RBI.
It's amazing. If you see as an infielder, you always want to try to knock the ball down. That ball's hit hard, but I think a lot of times an infielder can anticipate based on the pitch that's called and where it's going to be hit, because Escobar hardly moved. As the ball got past him quickly, it's hit hard by Lucroy. But look where Escobar's playing. He actually took one step to the right. Sometimes guys will do that to set themselves up to move, but in that case, it worked against him as Lucroy came through with a big hit. 12 pitch at bat yesterday in a pinch hit row. Runners, that's impressive. 11 for 17. Runners in scoring position, take that all the time.
And that hit Fowler. So the A's will have 2 on and 1 out.
Well, the breaking ball we've talked about a lot, Kai, but this one just kept running inside. You could tell the way the ball popped up. Hit just in front of the right foot of Fowler, then hit the foot. Carried over the head of everybody behind the plate.
Here's Marcus Semien. First pitch is low. Marcus Semien this year, speaking of runners in scoring position, his average with runners in scoring position, 364. He's 12 for 33.
And I think
good guy to have up.
I think part of that, Kai, if you see the hole on the right side of the infield, first baseman Merrifield playing off the bag, but a huge gap between first and second. And Marcus is a smart enough hitter that he'll kind of drag the bat through, stay inside the ball, and shoot a ball to right field and drive in a run that way.
Back to the screen.
Does a good job of hooking breaking pitches down the left field corner. Fastballs as he just tried there and stayed inside the ball. Fouled it off.
It's this one to right field. Soler gets under it. Lucroy thought about tagging up, but he stays as Soler shows off a pretty good arm. 2 outs here in the third, and it'll be up to Lowry to come through. Lowry hit a fly ball to left field to end the first inning. Lowry, like Semien, has very good numbers with runners in scoring position. 315 the average. Overall, the A's as a team this year, 251 in that department. They were very good early, and then that 251 number slipped down quite a ways, and now they've been much better this weekend. Swing and a miss, hard slider. That pitch that he's throwing, that slider, which we've talked about, he must have a late break because he's a lot of swings and misses, and swings and misses on pitches that are well out of the strike zone.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you figure righty throwing to a lefty is Jed Lyer's a switch hitter. He's got the breaking ball coming in, and you know sometimes you can't pick up the spin as a hitter.
There it is again. So he went to the exact same spot, and Lowry missed it twice. So the A's get a run on a couple of hits. Bottom of the third coming up, 1-0 A's.
sharing a photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
So 1-0 A's, bottom of the third on a beautiful day here in Kansas City. The Escobar, Goins, and Jay against Daniel Gossett. So I mentioned the draft tomorrow, Ray, and I wanted to ask you, you were part of the first ever draft, 1965. And that was because it was the first ever draft, the draft was put in. I mean, that was a big deal, huh? I mean, it really changed the way teams went about, right? I mean, otherwise you could just sign anybody you wanted, and that's the way it was forever.
Well, in reality, that's the way it was, but they also wanted to try to cut down on the bonuses. And now they have slots, which are bigger bonuses. Yeah. But you're right about.
Fowler coming in.
He broke back. That's the scary part.
But you're in high school and you know that you're a good player, and you get so a draft starting. That had to be. I mean, you had to be like, whoa, this is a different deal. I'm not just signing with anybody.
Bottom line, I had to sign with Cleveland, or I had to go to school.
Sure.
Or I got to go to school. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness.
That's the only reason we bring up the draft, so we can show Ray.
Thank you.
We love it.
No, but you know, in reality, I mean, I wanted to play. There's Rick Mundy, you know, got the top pick, and you know, we don't want to look at those guys down at the bottom because those were super, like Nolan Ryan, 226.
All right.
But
picked ahead of them.
But the thing is, it limited in what you could do.
Well, obviously, yeah.
You know, and the thing about a high school player, and it still, I think, remains the same, that if you commit to a 4-year school, you have to go 3 years.
Or be 21 years old.
Right, right. Yeah, they've changed that. But typically, you got high school at 18, you're going to go 3 years to college. And, you know, go to junior college. I think Barry Zito went to 3 different junior colleges and ended up signing. But it tried to limit bonuses, but also it really took away, because I remember in '64, before the draft, there was one player that put a scout for every team in a different hotel room. It just went from room to room to room.
So it's a wild, wild west.
Exactly. Yeah. But then once the draft, just like with Rick Mundy, I mean, he would have gotten into today's world.
And that one's hit deep to right field. Could be trouble. Piscotti turns around, and it is gone. First home run of the year for John Jay. He jumped on it, and this game's tied at 1.
Well, we're going to show the location again. Sadly, it's a pitch that has gotten Daniel Gossett in trouble. And we talk about location. Watch this. There it is. And it's an off-speed pitch. And up in the zone, we talk about Junis, how he's keeping his pitches down. When that's elevated, that's what happens, unfortunately, because it was crushed. It sounded great. And unfortunately for the A's and Daniel Gossett, as was the case yesterday, a home run. Of course, this one tied it, so Larry's yesterday put the Royals ahead.
It's Merrifield who takes inside. Merrifield walked in the first inning. Fouls it back. We had a good hat. Try to catch it with the hat effort. Doesn't usually work.
All it did is deflect it to somebody who caught it softer.
1-1 to Merrifield.
But you can see what John Jay did, as it really is not as a big home run hitter, but he loaded up a little bit earlier with a 1-0 count, and there's your mistake. We talked about hitters hit mistakes for home runs, and a non-home run hitter just hit one.
Foul back into the upper deck here at Kauffman Stadium. So 2-2 the count.
Back to the draft club. I remember talking to Eric Kubota, who is the A's director of scouting, and of course all the groups that talked to the assistant general manager here today, and they're all in the war rooms getting ready to decide what they're going to do. But as Eric Kubota has said, you know, when you draft guys, you hope that they can play. And last year, with the #1 draft choice, high school player, and I remember asking Eric, said, how do you know if he wants to play? He gets a big bonus, and he's set for life, essentially. And he says that's where the scouts come in and talking to the parents and the players to make sure that, they want to play the game. And that's very important in how the scouts who are in that war room right now in Oakland getting ready for tomorrow's draft, they're all there. And it's those scouts who are out in the bushes and talking to parents, talking to players. So give those guys a lot of credit. They're doing what they're doing, because when the draft starts tomorrow and they pick the players, those scouts know who can play, who wants to play, and that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah. Especially first-round draft picks where you're going to spend a lot of money on a bonus.
Definitely.
Eligible for the draft, obviously high school players, and then as Ray said, college players that have finished their junior year or are 21 years old. Or you can go to junior college and you could play 1 year in junior college and then you're eligible. There's really no limitations on how many years a junior college player has to stay in college. But if you go to a 4-year school, you have to stay for 3 years unless you turn 21 before your junior year, then you would be eligible.
Yeah. And I think what's going to happen too is the foreign draft, or the players from Latin American countries.
That's going to be part of something.
Because there you're kind of reverting to whoever offers the most money can get the players, and that's kind of a crapshoot also, because those players are much younger, or at least younger than, say, high school player, college players. Meanwhile, this is the 10th pitch coming up in this at bat, and it was the 3rd inning in his last start when he gave up the back-to-back home runs.
Another foul ball.
So Delaire, our producer, right on top of it, as he had mentioned that, and he's exactly right. Got 2 strikeouts in the 3rd against Tampa Bay, and then the 3 consecutive home runs. 2 outs here, home run to Jay, trying to prevent it from happening in this at bat with Merrifield.
Fly ball to center field. Fowler now goes back into right center, and the ball carrying big time, and he catches it at the warning track. Home run for John Jay, his first of the year. We're tied at 1.
That's perfect. You know, he did that with Montas. They say he's opening up too much, and that's exactly when you see a catcher talking about that, it means the pitcher's opening up too quickly, and when you do that, you elevate pitches. If you take the front shoulder, in this case the left shoulder for Gossett, and drive towards the plate, you keep the ball down. That's a great, when the body turns, not much you can do except elevate the pitch. But that's, you know, we saw Friday night with Frankie Montas, and he was talking to him about his breaking pitch. But that's the influence that a catcher has on a pitching staff, or pitchers in general.
Quick 0-2 to Chris Davis.
That man's happy, Frankie Montas, who won a second game on Friday. Living the dream, man.
Yeah, he's not going to pitch in the Texas series. So we'll see Frankie Montas against these Royals again next weekend.
Yep.
1-2 the count to Chris Davis. He's 1 for 8 in this series. He hits that one in the air toward left, but he got under it. Gordon, drifting into left center field, makes the catch.
There's a case of a mistake was made by a pitcher, but a power hitter didn't drive the ball and just got under it enough, and that's the difference of Chris Davis hitting his 14th home run or hitting a ball to the Gold Glover in left field.
So 1 away. Here's Olson. First pitch to Olson is the strike. A's coming into today with a 30-29 record, so game over 500. They're 15-14 on the road.
Well, I agree with that, exactly what you said. You get to 500, but you want to build on that and build up instead of going in reverse. And that's how you improve your record.
That one is hooked down the right field line, but foul. The A's have got 3 games over 500, but now back to 1 game over. Right now, the Seattle Mariners have caught the Houston Astros for first place in the West. So Angels 5.5 back, the A's 6.5 back. So that is the AL West coming into today. Two pitch, kind of a funky swing by Olson, and that is strikeout number 6 for Jake Junis.
Another what looked like a breaking pitch out of the hand of Junis, and down. And the swing is exactly like you said, just kind of trying to snap at it, make contact. Could not. Actually foul tipped. You can hear the tip into the catcher's mitt.
So 2 outs for Chapman. In the hole, and it's going to get through into left field. Moustakas dove for it, couldn't get it. So Chapman has the A's 3rd hit in the game.
Now between third and short, hard hit ball, and that's the key. It hit hard enough that Moustakas could not come up with it. Speed of Chapman would have helped anyway, even with infielder diving for a ball.
Well, that'll bring up Stephen Piscotty. First pitch to Piscotty, hit high and fouls. Maybe Piscotty keeping a close eye on his alma mater, the Stanford Cardinal. They're playing in a college baseball's regionals. They're actually hosting a regional in Palo Alto this weekend. So it's a big time for college baseball right now. The regionals, and then you win the regional, you go to the super regional. Stanford lost last night.
And those
so they're going to need a couple wins today if they want to keep their season alive.
But for those players who are playing in those colleges, they're also looking forward to tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And
It's
then,
a big 2-week stretch for
yeah, and then they continue to, well, they have to be finished before they can even negotiate. Is that how it works?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
you would guess that's probably the case. Piscotty swings and misses. So 7 strikeouts through 4 innings for Jake Junis. We go to the bottom of the 4th. This game is tied at 1. NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app. Presented by your NorCal Honda dealers. So bottom of the fourth, it's a 1-1 game. The A's and the Royals, rubber game of the series. Moustakas, Perez, and Soler. In first inning. Moustakas hit into a 5-6-3 double play. Of course, it was 5-6 because of the infield shift. It was really a ball hit right to the shortstop position. Chapman, see where he's playing, and that's right where the ball was hit. Simeon turned the double play, so that's why it was 5-6. Little flare to left. Canna coming in. Canna grabs it. One out here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Oh, we know Chapman can cover a lot of ground. He was sprinting out and had to be a relief to look up and see Canna playing shallow, able to handle that ball. And for Daniel Gossett to get a couple of strikes on a hitter and get him out with 4 pitches. Chapman back to the normal position at third with a straight up defense against Salvador Perez.
Perez, a very aggressive hitter. He's not going to walk a lot.
He doesn't get cheated, does he? He's not going to see a lot of pitches. He's going to swing early, and he's going to be aggressive. And yes, he's caught 3 consecutive games of this weekend series. Royals will be going west, where the weather is not bad.
Simeon ranging far to his left. He's got time. Perez not a real fast runner. 2 outs.
See Daniel Gossett with his right hand. Pitcher smart, because the ball was hit by Perez to his right. Looked like he stuck out his hand and then kind of brought it back. And Simeon, it wasn't hit that hard, but boy, the last thing you want to do as a pitcher is use your bare hand to go after a ball. But a recoil. So great shot, guys, because that was something. Catfish Hunter broke his finger right here in an All-Star game.
Left center, it's hit well, and Fowler's going to play it off the wall. Soler into second with a 2-out double.
He doesn't wait around either.
Well, you can see why the Royals wanted this guy. He's an impressive looking athlete, and if he can just tighten up his game a little bit, he could be a star.
And he's big too.
He is big.
Whoa. I had the barber downstairs next to the A's clubhouse, and he walked by and I said, wow. Wow. You're sure you're not a chief that's come through the tunnel and put on a Royals uniform? Wow. For some reason they're making them bigger in baseball nowadays.
He is a big boy. Alex Gordon, broken bat, slow rolling. That's Marcus Simeon who has it. Side retired. A 2-out double, nothing else, and we are moving to the 5th 1-1 game.
California is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
Jake Junis kicks and fires, and he throws a fastball by Marcana. That was pitch number 50 for Jake Junis. He's been good. 7 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. A's got a Jonathan Lucroy RBI single in the 3rd for their run. They come into today's game 6th in the American League in runs scored. They're 5th in home runs. So some of the good numbers, some of the not so good. They're last in stolen bases, and they have the 3rd most strikeouts in the league.
Well, you know, you can probably say that a lot about stolen bases for teams because there's just not a lot of teams running anymore.
Right, it's almost a non-factor now. Still a nice thing to be able to do, though, if you have a guy or 2 in your lineup that can steal a bag. Driven to center. And coming in is Jay. Yeah, you don't see it very often. I know we see the Mariners, and that's your immediate thought with D. Gordon, how he can impact the game. But
I was watching the Mariners game the other night with the Rays playing the Mariners, and Diaz came in, and they were running on him because typically closers don't have great moves, and they ran, and they were successful.
That's probably a good move.
Yeah, and you should, no matter what the score. I mean, you know, a lot of times the closers say, well, I don't have a good move because I don't put runners on base. But if you do, they could be taken advantage of.
And most closers, and well, listen, I mean, almost every closer has really good stuff, and it's going to be hard to get 3 hits off.
If they start the inning, that's probably why they say I could care less, because I don't put guys on. When you look at Eckerson, he didn't walk anybody, very rarely gave up a hit, and he did not hold base runners, didn't have to. But you know, the play that I miss is the hit and run. You just don't see it that much.
Ever see it.
Yeah.
Escobar has it. Lucroy is out. 2 outs. And you don't have to have a base stealer to do the hit and run play.
That's right.
But maybe the hit and run is a dying breed, Ray, because there's so many swings and misses now.
That's an even better point. Yeah. What I'd like to see sometime with the shift, get a base stealer. He gets to second, doesn't slide, just hits the bag, keeps going to third, because there's nobody at third base.
Up the middle, and Fowler's going to have a base hit.
Let's see if he runs. He's a candidate to steal. Perez does throw well. He's a Gold Glove catcher. But Fowler, as we're seeing hitters, because Junis, and I'll ask Will to do the numbers on this, but he's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes in this game. He's 13 of 19. Thank you, Will. So he's being pretty consistent.
I'm just looking at Salvador Perez's throwing numbers. He has thrown out 7 of 15 would-be base stealers. So that's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Well, he's got a strong arm. He loves to catch. Got a quick release.
Want to know to Marcus Semien, who has struck out and hit a fly ball to right field. Very close, and Fowler just got back.
And Ned
Stu Shearwater is the first base umpire. They may want to take a look.
Yeah, Ned Yost has his hand up. He was on the bench, came up quickly. Well, I think he got his hand in before the. No, they're going to let it go. Because the right hand from Fowler got on the bag, it looked like, before he was tagged by Merrifield.
Speaking of throwing runners out, most runners caught stealing since 2013. That's not just the American League, that's in the major leagues. Jonathan Lucroy is first. Salvador Perez is second. So we're seeing 2 of the best.
But there are times that you disregard those numbers and take the chance anyway.
That's exactly right.
Because what the catcher can do, maybe the pitcher can't do. And the catcher needs help from his pitcher to be able to get the quick release to him. And Looks like Junis has a decent move as well as a release point to the plate. And
Missed outside.
Even quick pitches occasionally.
Well, that'll mess with the runner too,
right.
a little bit. A quick pitch.
Yeah. I'm sure the Royals looking at the numbers with Dustin Fowler at first, 2 outs, putting it all together, and that maybe he would be running. That's why so many throwovers usually called by the bench. Jason Kendall caught for the Royals. He did his own throwovers, etc.
And it's inside, and he walked him. 2-out rally for the A's. First walk by Jake Junis.
Yeah, Kai, sometimes, and Ricky Henderson, the greatest of all time, has said many times that sometimes the distraction of a potential base stealer on base can, he can distract a pitcher to the point maybe he doesn't make the quality pitches to the hitter. And maybe Junis was thinking that with Fowler because Simeon did have a big swing on the 2-0. And now with maybe not so much thinking about a runner scoring, now or stealing, he has a runner in scoring position. And he has to concentrate on the hitter.
I just feel like unless you are regularly stealing home, the hitter is more important than the base runner every single time.
Exactly. Exactly. Even with the potential base stealer at first, you're right, because you can make a mistake to the hitter and hit a 2-run home run or drive a ball in the gap when you're thinking so much about the base stealer or the runner at first base.
Fowler, Simeon, so good speed on the bases. And Lowry takes a strike. Jed didn't like the call, but it looked like it was right there.
Well, you can see the movement started inside, came back right there. How much is like a side to side, not so much a 2-seamer down. But you see a lot of pitchers throw that pitch inside, get the hitter to flinch.
Got him. He went with that slider again. He got Lowry in the 3rd inning with that same pitch. So Junis gets out of the jam. The A's strand a pair. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Left field fence, you can clearly see it. Royals Hall of Fame. It's a very cool place, and I think it's kind of neat that it's right here in the ballpark.
And it was part of the renovation when they put the $250 million into the stadium, put the seats in the outfield. I want to see if our great crew has that number 5 with the number of hits of George Brett, over 3,000, with his number 5 all in baseballs. Because that is a great, great display.
Oof, that's a great display of pitching. First strikeout for Daniel Gossett as he paints the inside corner.
Well, and after the 11 pitch at bat to Merrifield, he has come back and thrown strikes very quick. He only had an 8-pitch inning last inning. 3 pitches, 3 strikes to this batter, although a couple out of the strike zone.
So here's Alcides Escobar.
Will tells us 3,154 hits for the great George Brett. Another 1-pitch batter.
So 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Ryan Goins will step up.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Oakland Athletics app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Today's home screen icons and features such as MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Did you know that yesterday's was the game right here was the MLB Game of the
Day?
Yeah.
Free Game of the Day?
Yeah, right here. Kauffman Stadium. I didn't know that when I saw it on the app. But
well, it's probably good that we didn't know, Ray. We would have felt a little extra pressure to make sure we did a good telecast.
you always do the best. Top of your game all the time.
Right. Piscotty in. And that's a 7-pitch at bat for Daniel Gossett. 7 pitches. How about that?
Not 6.5.
Not 6.5. Jake Junis and Daniel Gossett are sharp. Want to get cool, which today you can use a little refreshment from the water. Curiosity. What a wonderful time.
That's great.
Gets you every time. Chris Davis gets bent back out of the way. Chris Davis has struck out and hit a fly ball to left field. Junis with 8 strikeouts, that ties a career high. Gossett has just 1, but still same results for both pitchers, just 1 run allowed. That one spins inside, 2-0. Olson to follow, and then Chapman. So the big power hitters up for the A's. Right on the outside corner for strike. 69 pitches for Jake Junis.
It's amazing how Junis seems to get himself a little bit of trouble, but gets out of it. Put a couple of runners on with one out twice and gotten out of the jams. Simon Lucroy with the RBI base hit. That came with one out, following the double by Mark Canha.
Two pitch. Here it is. A sharp breaking ball is low. 3-2.
Well, maybe the third time through the batting order for the A's facing Junis. That pitch is one that was swung at earlier. A breaking ball down in the dirt, blocked by Perez, but this time KD able to avoid it. Here comes another breaking pitch.
And it's popped up. Man, I think Chris Davis got a pitch to hit.
Yeah.
Probably wanted to do a little more with it. Looked like it hung a little bit right out over the plate.
Well, fans, with summer right around the corner, don't miss out on your chance to grab some shade with a 50th anniversary Kelly Green replica cap. It's presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort. First 15,000 fans on Saturday, June the 9th. It's a week from yesterday. Get this great lid. It's beginning at 105 against these same Kansas City Royals. Grab your tickets at athletics.com/ticket. Nothing better than a good hat to wear proudly, as that gentleman is right there. That looks like one of the official caps. Maybe Steve Lucinich sent it back to him.
Well, the A's colors stand out, and
Yes,
that's what we like about it.
Yes, they do.
We can only see the green jerseys, and even more so the gold jerseys with the green and gold hats.
I bet that fan was a fan of the Kansas City Athletics.
Probably.
When they first came out here.
There's the Kansas City A's hat.
Good stuff, Birdie. A lot of good shots in the stands of the A's fans.
Olson swings and misses.
Sure, our good friend Monty Moore paying attention to these games back here in Kansas City and watching his A's play the Royals and remembering the times when he was broadcasting here in Kansas City.
Just missed.
Backdoor breaking ball, this time not down and in as we saw with Jed Lowry a couple times, and this one kind of backed up a little bit to the outside corner.
That one's hit hard, but right into the shift. So 2 away. It was great to see Monty Moore at the ballpark last homestand, and I kid you not. So we've heard some terrific Monty Moore A's history stories, right? He has thousands of them. But what's great about it is you never hear the same one twice.
That's right.
He stood in our booth before the game, the day he was there, and he told us 3 A stories in the span of probably 5 minutes that we had never heard before, and they were all great. And we laughed. And he had a whole bunch more that if we would have had a little more time, he would have told.
That's right.
And that one kicks off of Escobar, and that's going to be an error, and the A's will have a 2-out base runner. Fairly routine play. Sometimes a routine ball like that, maybe right at the last minute, takes a little bit of a bad hop, maybe comes up a little bit. Although that one did not look like it did.
Okay, right before Chapman came up, looked down in the A's bullpen, and somebody hurriedly is getting loose. And I don't know if something happened to Gossett, but a little surprising to see the pitcher quickly getting loose in the bullpen. Because Gossett has been pitching great the last couple of innings. It's Trevino. Yeah, and I mean, it was rapid. He jumped up and they threw him a baseball and he started. I mean, it takes about 6 and he's loose, but I don't know, maybe something happened because Gossett is pitching about as well as he could. We shall see what's going to happen.
Chapman goes. Swing and a miss. Perez's throw. Got it. He threw from his knees and he threw out Matt Chapman at second base. What a throw by Salvador Perez. Well, the A's will not take a look at it, and that's how the top of the 6th ends. Bottom of the 6th coming up. We're tied at 1.
California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
That's the plaza area where our hotel is at. Bottom of the 6th, it's a 1-1 game. A little concern here as Daniel Gossett is out of the game. He was terrific through 5 innings. We're not sure exactly what is wrong, and when we find out, we will pass it on. He was at 63 pitches, so that's not obviously an issue. And Lou Trevino is the new pitcher, and Ray, he is being allowed to have some extra warm-up pitches. So,
yeah, home plate umpire Corey Blazer did talk to Ned Yost, and maybe all this, even though Trevino got up in the bullpen, and you know that's hurting. He came out rotating his arm out of the bullpen, so that's not good. So if they're getting extra ones, that's a credit to the umpiring crew and to Ned Yost for accepting it.
Gossett 5 hits or 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, and 7 ground ball out. So he was throwing the ball well. So it's too bad. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So it is Lou Trevino having a terrific rookie season for the A's.
I got 15 pitches for Daniel Gossett the last 2 innings, and that was following an 11 pitch at bat to Merrifield. So let's hope he is all right. Different style of pitcher coming in to face the Royals now. Trevino in the 6th inning. He's pitched as late as the 8th inning.
Trevino has not pitched since Monday, so he's had some time off. Arm should be fresh.
And
swing by Jay.
He could go 2 innings also. I mean, he's not necessarily a 1-inning guy. And you got Petit, multiple innings, even Trinan, and especially with the off day tomorrow. Well, Melvin, as always, wants to win every game, and especially trying to win a series.
Foul, 1-2 the count. Jay Merrifield Moustakis here for the Royals in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, this is what John Jay did to make it a 1-1 game. Just a high slider looked like at 86. It just didn't do anything. Slider, cutter, whatever it was, elevated and hittable pitch.
Chapman across the diamond, and they get Jay.
Makes it look easy, doesn't it? That's a tough play. Backhand cue shot, and Matt Chapman makes it look easy. And when they're not, this ball slicing, that makes it, when it hits the ground, kind of cue shot, spins, but Chapman, once he caught it on the backhand, His arm will outrun anybody.
So here's Whit Merrifield, who has walked and hit a fly ball to center field. And he bunts it, but he bunts it foul.
I think I was watching Matt Chapman. He was playing deep. And just as Merrifield came up, you could see Chapman start to creep in a little bit. And as soon as Merrifield squared around or dragged the ball, he was sprinting in from third base. So the great anticipation by the rookie third baseman for the A's.
Must have saw something.
Yep. And sometimes they're able to see just a little bit. Maybe a peek down to third base to see it initially he was playing deep.
The 1-1 to count to Merrifield. Merrifield has 4 hits in the series. He's been hit by a pitch a couple times and the walk today, so he's been on base 7 times. I'm telling you, it's Michael Young.
Yeah, I think you're right. But only if he hits the ball to right field.
Yeah, that's true. Michael Young. Well, Michael Young didn't flare to right field
No,
either.
he didn't. Michael Young didn't like clowns either. Do you know that?
Is that it?
Yeah. Must have had a bad experience as a
Must
kid.
have, yeah.
Clowns are funny. Especially those rodeos. They help those cowboys.
3-1 pitch, and he walked him. So Merrifield on base again. So third walk.
Well, pretty good eye by Merrifield to take a 97 down, especially on 3-1. Maybe he thought he couldn't hit it, so he didn't swing at it. Got the call.
So Moustakas 0 for 2 today and 1 for 9 in this series. But dangerous. Checks his swing and he went around, says Corey Blazer. Salvador Perez waits in the on-deck circle. Moustakas got one to hit there. They're not booing.
No,
They're saying boo.
I always thought that was good. Lou Piniella, great Lou, had the name Lou, playing in New York, and you know, fans in New York, if you don't play well, they will boo you, but they're always Louing him.
Yeah,
You know?
he was pretty popular.
Yes, he was.
Merrifield runs well, and he's going to hustle back. Shift is on for Moustakas, left side of the infield. Pretty much open. Pitch out, nothing going on. So 1-2 the count. Tom Melton, as all managers, check with their bench coach occasionally, check with their pitching coach occasionally. Merrifield goes. And the ball's fouled at the plate. He got a pretty good jump. And the ball was fouled. He slid anyways.
Well, it's always tough on a hitter. In the case of a base runner getting a good jump, the hitter can't do anything about it with 2 strikes. Because if the pitch is in the strike zone, he has to at least swing, make contact. Merrifield, surprisingly, with the head down and 2 strikes on the hitter, because if contact is made to line drive, that's an easy double play. You have to at least, especially when you heard contact, find out where the ball is.
Stock has spoiled a pretty good pitch there. 95 right on the corner. So he kind of reached for it, poked it foul. Merrifield took off 2 pitches ago, not last pitch. And there he goes. Swing and a miss. Lucroy's throw is not in time. And Merrifield gets the stolen base.
They'll go play at second base. Big lead, big break. Looking back there as a swing and miss, and Lucroy to pitch down. Semien making the nice play and a quick tag. But I still think, just watching, remember J.J. Hardy would have the palm of his glove down and catch the ball and take it straight down, because you take a pitch, that ball that hits the ground comes up, you have to go up and go down. Hardy was one of the first I saw. I don't know if that would have helped Marcus Semien on that one, because it's a pretty good jump speed by the base runner Merrifield.
Mighty swing by Salvador Perez. No one won the count. Tough guy to get here. With the go-ahead run at second base, Salvador Perez. Amazing Perez. Seems like he's been around forever. He's only 27 years old. Perez already playing in his 7th year in the big leagues. Merrifield goes, and the ball goes past Chapman, but he did not decide to take a chance and go home. So Whit Merrifield to third, and for a second there, a scary moment, because he's the go-ahead run.
Well, I tell you, Matt Chapman got on it quickly. As look at the shift, and that is why, not the shift, actually, they're showing the shortstop, Marcus Semien. And Merrifield took off, figured nobody's covering, but the fact maybe didn't know where the ball was. He looked back, and by the time he saw it, realized it was too close for him to take off.
That's a pretty heads-up play right there by Merrifield. But you got to make it.
Absolutely.
Because you're already in scoring position, and he did. 1-1. Fouled straight back by Perez.
But you know, he's had success in stealing third base, and really not much of attention being paid. And you know, in reality, the worst thing that Trevino did is throw the ball. Just put it in your pocket. Probably. Because you know, if Chapman's so far off the bag and you're making a throw to a moving target, I mean, Merrifield almost got away with an error in scoring a run on a stolen base. When he's already in scoring position and 2 outs in concentration, your great point earlier, concentrate on the hitter right now.
1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out with a high hard one, 96 miles an hour. So Merrifield is stranded at third. 7th inning coming up, 1-1 ball game.
Luke Trevino, there's a strikeout, a throw to second on stolen base, and what's he do with Salvador Perez? He strikes in now with a high heater, and he's got a good one. But fortunately, the head first slide by Merrifield, still in third. He didn't know where the ball was. And boy, there's sometimes you step off, and if you have to throw to a moving target, just put it in your pocket and realize you have the power to strike out some good hitters, and he just did it.
It'll be Piscotti, Canna, and Lucroy here in the 7th inning. He's trying to get something going against Jake Junis. Their run came in the 3rd. Junis had 82 pitches. He's got 8 strikeouts. He has not had a real high pitch inning. 17 is his highest, and that was in the 5th. You look at the Royal starters this year. Danny Duffy, who's generally pretty darn good. Yeah. He has not been good. Danny Duffy's ERA is 5.7. So Hamill, his ERA is 5. So Ian Kennedy's ERA is 6. So really, Jake Junis has been the best starting pitcher for the Royals this year.
And you know, that may be the reason, after 5 very good innings by Daniel Gossett, that Bob Melvin went to Luke Trevino, because he knows that Junis is not going to give up much. And nothing against the other guys in the bullpen, but just maybe go to his 7th, 8th inning guy, and did well for the 6th inning. Try to do it in the 7th and go from there.
It's been a struggle this year for the Royals pitching. The highest ERA in the league, the most home runs allowed in the league. So that has been their issue. Last year they had a 4.61 team ERA. That was 10th in the league. So they have got worse in that department. Canna takes a strike. So 0-2 to Mark Canna, who doubled and scored in the 3rd. Hit a fly ball to center field in the 5th. Inside. In Junis' first 11 starts, this is his 12th start today, he has gone over 100 pitches 3 times. 106 being the high, so keep that in mind as you look at his pitch count. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Canna disagrees with Corey Blazer.
Well, it's one of those curveballs that really didn't break outside. It stayed inside, front door. And Salvador Perez brought it back into the strike zone. Looked like it had the corner anyway. But if a hitter sees the spin, figure it's going to be outside, but it stayed inside.
So a career high 9 strikeouts for Jake Junis. And he spins the first pitch slider in to Lucroy. It's been a good pitch for him today, whether he's going for a strikeout or, in that case, just dropping a strike in there early in the count. Goins out, fighting that sun, and Goins grabs it, and that is a 3-up, 3-down inning for Jake Junis. 7th inning stretch from Kauffman Stadium. We're tied at 1.
Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by SoFi, a modern finance company.
And both teams scored a run in the third inning. That's where we are. 6 hits total, 2 runs, 1-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Jurassic World fireworks will roar like a T-Rex through the sky as the A's host the Los Angeles Angels Friday, June the 15th, presented by Ray Morgan Company. Fans can enjoy the post-game fireworks from the outfield grass set to the music of the Jurassic Park movies. Bring your pack of Raptors and enjoy the show. Visit athletics.com/fireworks for details. Second of 7 on the docket this year at the Coliseum. Great fireworks. Hope to see you there. The A's return for the long homestand. That's the end of the homestand. That would be Father's Day weekend. So it should be a good homestand for the Athletics. Right now, trying to pick up a win today to win this series.
1-1 game, bottom of the 7th. Trevino pitched the 6th inning, and he'll pitch the 7th inning as well, as he'll face Soler, Gordon, and Dozier. That's the Royals mascot, if you didn't know that already. Slugger.
Slugger's got the dance down.
We're good. We've seen enough of Slugger.
Yeah, yeah. Ices look good. Ice cream looks good. A's caps look best.
So here's Soler, who has hit a fly ball to right field, and he has doubled. First pitch toward left center, playable for Marcana. So one pitch, a dangerous hitter, Soler, is retired.
Towards the end of the bat with that swing, and an aggressive swing by Soler. It's what you like to see. Aggressively hitting a ball that has a little movement towards the end as it arrived at home plate. Got it off the end of the bat, and just a routine fly ball to left.
So here's Gordon. Gordon shows bunt, and it's a strike. He pulled the bat back, but called a strike. Chapman was playing a shallow shortstop spot. .269 for Alex Gordon. Daniel Gossett, 5 very good innings, but he did not go out for the 6th. We have not heard a reason why, if there is any injury or illness. Today, where the A's AAA team, Nashville, put Kendall Graveman on the disabled list with a forearm strain. Now, it's not considered serious. It's the 10-day disabled list. The A's don't expect him to miss more than 10 days, but still, I hate to see Kendall Graveman, who's trying to figure things out in AAA, then have to go on the disabled list.
Yeah.
Pitch is bounced to the right side. Simeon has it. His throw is in time to get Gordon. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that'll bring up Hunter Dozier.
Yeah, Cop, we've talked earlier about some guys that, you know, we've seen the changes that Alex Gordon has made with his setup. There's an example. He attempts a bunt with a shift, 3 pitches out of the strike zone, and then goes after a 3-1 pitch that probably was not a great pitch, pitch to hit, maybe a pitcher's pitch. And I remember when Wade Boggs went to the Yankees, Don Mattingly said to him, "Why do you take the 3-1 pitches?" He said, "Maybe the 3-2's better." Well, that case, that might have been it, because good pitch thrown by Trevino.
Nice play by Chapman. Throws in time. Chapman moving smoothly to his left, and he makes it look a lot easier than it is. Sag just a little bit.
A little downwind and spray it.
So Junis back out there. He'll face Fowler, Simmons, and Lowry, top of the order. We just got a report on Daniel Gossett. Not necessarily what we want to hear.
No.
Tightness in his right elbow. Tightness, right elbow. Shallow center, got a chance to fall, and it will. Fowler with the blue pit to open up the 8th inning. So Fowler is 2 for 3. He was also hit by a pitch, so he's been on base 3 times.
Off the end of the bat, and sometimes a big swing will result in a base hit. See what center fielder did. Jay kind of held his ground, but not much of a chance to get to the ball. Wasn't like he broke back and not able to get to it, so they'll take it.
We're going to get a meeting at the mound between pitcher, catcher, third base, shortstop, second base. Do not see any outfielders coming in.
What are you guys going for dinner tonight? Oh, we're going to Anaheim.
Yeah, we'll all get together. Walk over to the block. Walk back.
Go out and see Bubba. See Bubba at the clubhouse tomorrow.
So Marcus Semien steps up. He walked in the 5th. Moustakis in on the grass, a step. Semien takes a strike.
The conversation might have been about a sacrifice. Moustakis playing way in front of the bag at third as bullpen activity starts for the Royals. Infield really starting to pinch in a little bit.
Inside, 90 miles an hour from Junis. Junis had 94 pitches.
After watching Salvador Perez throw out Chapman at second from his knees, that kind of deters any possible running. And if it's a hit and run, which we have not seen many, depends on the hitter to make contact.
Rolled foul. So Junis working the inside part to Marcus Semien. Lowry waiting in the on-deck circle. Good ball game today. 1-1 in the top of the 8th. Tight game yesterday as well. Quick throw to first. Fowler just got back.
Well, as we know, Perez not afraid to throw. And really, if you're a first baseman, that's a huge move off first base by Fowler. So not surprised that Perez came up quickly to throw.
A little bit inside, and now a full count. Will Fowler run here?
Well, if he does, Cap, this is more about not a hit and run, but a run and hit. And if he does run, it's imperative that Semien makes some contact.
He's not running, and the ball is hooked foul. Almost a nice running play by ball the way down the left field line.
And you know that right there, the combination of the strikeouts, 9 by Junis, great throwing by Salvador Perez. Maybe Bob Melvin said, let's not take a chance of running into a double play. At least on that pitch, we'll see what he does here.
Not running again, and the ball's hit to the right side. Foul.
100 pitches for Junis, and that's usually the magic mark. The number, but we'll see what Ned Yost decides to do. And economical.
Yep. Fowler not running again, and another foul ball. This one just to our right a little bit. So pitch number 9 coming up to Marcus Semien with the go-ahead run at first. Nobody out here in the 8th. Drive to center. Jay gets back though. He's right there and he makes the catch. So pretty good at bat. Marcus Semien hit that ball really hard, but it's an out, 1 away.
Jed Lowry's due. And maybe he'll remember that twice that he struck out on sliders down and in, back foot hard thrown. But Fowler not on the move. The skipper decided not to send him. He had 4 opportunities on the 3-2, but did not run. Maybe that slider down and in would not be thrown as hard by Junis. Over 100 pitches. Maybe I'll hang one.
A little bit high. Lowry 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. He's 2 for 11 in the series. Outfield straight away. Were thinking that maybe it was a little bit closer than everybody thought. Umpire looked into the dugout. Fowler runs, and Perez cannot control it, so he cannot make a throw, and Fowler to second base. Perez was ready to come up throwing, he just did not catch it clean, so it'll be a stolen base.
But a good deke at second base also, because Perez initially could not find the ball. Fowler on the move to second base. See what Escobar does up second base. See, he went down and Fowler goes into the slide. If he had looked back and saw that Perez had missed it, the ball gone to the backstop, maybe he could have gone to third. But a good deke at second by Escobar, and that's what a good infielder will do.
So another meeting at the mound, the second in this half inning.
Got that figured out. No meetings the first 6 or 7. Get towards the end of the game in a tight game, forget about the number. Let's go.
That's probably the best way to look at it.
Exactly, because don't waste them early. And the Royals in this inning have gone to the mound twice.
Two 2-0 to Lowry. And that one drops low. Off speed pitch. Good take by Lowry. Chris Davis will be next.
I think this is an unintentional intentional walk.
There's a line drive center field base hit. Here comes Fowler, and they're going to wave him home. Jay's throw to the plate is up the line just a little bit, and the A's take the lead.
3-0, Kipe. Whoa. And that may be one that they think about, because I don't know with first base open that they were really wanting to pitch to Jed Lowry, and especially throw him a 3-0 fastball. Ned Yost is calling time, going to the mound, and as the skipper says, the predictable pitch, the 3-0. Here it comes, there it is, and Jed Lowry once again comes up with a big hit on a 3-0 count with the 2-run home run against Felix Hernandez on a 3-0 pitch. And you know, Cap, this is all Matt Williams, because you would not think that he's going to send Fowler, but he had to know that Jay's arm maybe not as strong as you'd like to see from the outfielder.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and spa experts.
there, but then watch Matt Williams all the way almost to home plate. Let's go. And Fowler has tremendous speed. Jay's throw not especially that hard, but Fowler, once he saw the ball land, he picked up his third base coach. And remember yesterday, maybe Matt Williams intentionally this time went near home plate to keep saying, I've got you coming, and if I'm going to stop you, well, that far down the line is not going to stop him. So he had him coming all the way, but that's from day to day what happened. It's Matt Williams at third.
So here is Bert Smith making his 16th appearance, high ERA. Lots of walks and lots of strikeouts in 25 innings pitched. Facing Davis. Today, before the game, walking into the dugout, who do you think Matt Williams was talking with? Dustin Fowler.
Pretty good
just
idea.
Going over what happened yesterday.
Sure.
And it is what we thought. Dustin Fowler just right after he saw Matt Williams waving him home, he just glanced down a little bit and he missed Matt Williams putting up the stop sign. And Matt said, you know, maybe I did it a little later than I should have. Fowler also said, you know what? I just glanced down for a little bit. So it's a good start for Junis. But he is not going to get a win today. Big swing by Chris Davis on 3-0. Chris Davis is 0 for 3. You know, Ray, it's not uncommon too. I mean, after the game yesterday, you lose the game. Maybe that's not the time to sit down and talk with the player. Wait till tomorrow.
Absolutely. Plenty of time.
Yeah. And Chris Davis with the walk. Still only one out. Now the A's have runners at first and second.
Well, the main thing today, and you mentioned about Junis, a good start. 7 1/3. Does give up a hit to Jed Lowry. Blue base hit to Fowler. But the bottom line, what the A's pitchers have done is exceptional because they have been able to keep the club in the game. Ned Yost going to his bullpen. Bob Melvin went to maybe his 8th inning guy in the 6th inning. 7 1/3, 106 pitches for Junis.
The first pitch is low to Olson.
But as always, and we talk about it a lot, that if you have a pitcher who's pitching well against your club, you need to have the same happen for yours. And Gossett did it for 5. Trevino for 2. Somebody loosening in the bullpen now.
Another ball. And now it's 2-0. Smith says, give me a new baseball.
Now Smith basically 2-4 seam fastball, mid-90s, low 90s, curveball change up. Right now just trying to throw strikes.
Shift on for Olson. Another ball, 3-0. Deck is Chapman. And that one is hit to center field, and it's hit a ton.
Wow.
And that baby's gone. Three-run shot for Olson. It's 5-1, the A's lead.
I do not know if I can ever remember 3 consecutive batters swinging on 3-0. Jed Lowry, the base hit. Ball that was fouled by Chris Davis. And Matt Olson absolutely crushes his second 3-run home run in this series. 3-0. There's your same pitch that Jed Lowry hit off Junis. And Matt Olson knew it. So did Jay. So did Smith. And that is a big, big home run for insurance for the Athletics.
Wow, that one was crushed. So number 12 for Olson. He now has 29 RBIs. Strike to Chapman, quickly 0-2. So 4 runs here in the 8th inning, and the A's have a 5-1 lead. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
All of a sudden he starts throwing the breaking pitch. Statcast on Matt Olson, and get out the tape measure, because Matt Olson unloaded, and there it goes. Trajectory 27 degrees, 111 miles per hour off the bat, 454 projected over and into the fountain. And that's not easy to do. 5 of 20, 3-0 pitches, 1 for 1. 3 home runs in this series. But Kai, have you seen a lot of 3-0 back to back to back? I mean, it's it's rare, but that's Bob Melvin. I mean, give him credit for giving the green light and just said, "Hey guys, let it go." Jed Lowry's had experience, but that is, see something different every game, every day you come to the park.
Here's Piscotty. Piscotty is 0 for 3. The A's had just 4 hits going into the 8th inning, but 3 hits here in the 8th, and one of them a big one. Actually, a couple of big ones. Let's not forget about Lowry's hit. To the backstop, and it's 2-1.
Well, it's amazing how this inning has developed. The way Perez can throw. It didn't transfer, make the transfer, then 3-0 for Jed Lowry, 3-0, and Olson, big 3-run home run.
Yeah, you never know if Perez is able to get a good throw off. He's one of the best throwers, and what if they get Fowler?
Exactly.
Who knows
Changes
what
everything
in this inning? But aggressiveness by the A's.
Yeah. And the fact that he didn't run with Simeon at the plate on 3-2, he had 4 opportunities, didn't run, and he steals. And I still think, you get 3-0 on Jed Lowry. You got first base open, and he's such a clutch hitter anyway. And granted, he struck out, but he gets a fastball 3-0. It's like, okay, we missed 3. Let's go after him like he's going to take.
And
he
there's
does
another walk. Second walk in this inning, and the A's will see Canna come up. He's the 8th man to bat in the inning.
I remember a playoff game, Twins against the Yankees. Alex Rodriguez hitting, Joe Nathan pitching. Slider, 3-0. 3-0 fastball, home run right center. If you're going to go three sliders, why are you going to go the 4th with the fastball, thinking he's going to take?
First pitch strike to Canna, who is 1 for 3 with a double.
I think really in an era of seeing a lot of hitters swinging 3-0, you really have to be careful as a pitcher catcher, just not to say here's your BP fastball, 3-0, just to get a strike.
Oh, 2 now to Canna. Smith has faced, Canna's the 5th hitter he's faced. He's gone walk, homer, strikeout, walk. And again, this is the issue for the Royals.
Yeah.
Is getting from starter to their very good closer, Herrera. And today they could not do it. But Teague getting ready in the A's bullpen.
Yep, I think he was loosening even as the inning began. I figured Trevino, 2 outstanding innings 6 and 7. And a 4-run so far in the 8th inning has really helped.
Little pop up. It's going to be Goins, who reaches out and makes the catch. And that'll do it. The A's score 4 times. Lowry with an RBI hit to give them the lead, and then Olson, a little icing on the cake. A 3-run shot, and it's now 5-1, the A's lead.
or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Here's today's game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. The 4 spot in the 8th is the difference in this game. The A's 5-7-0. The Royals 1-2-1. Gossett left with some elbow tightness after 5. Junis was good, but he's sitting on a loss right now. And Jed Lowry with the big go-ahead hit. Matt Olson added on with a 3-run homer. So it's Yosmero Petit here in the bottom of the 8th. He's 6 outs away from a series win here in Kansas City. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts. Breezy day, and it's actually getting a little bit more breezy as the game goes on. One pitch to Escobar, fouled straight back, and the count is 0-2. Looking into Kauffman Stadium. Fountains have been here since day one. Can't get rid of those. Escobar reaches for it, fouls it. Red Sox and Astros will play tonight. That's the Sunday night featured game. It's also the 4th and final game of that big series. The Astros have won 2 out of the first 3. It'll be Porcello and Morton, the pitching matchup tonight in Houston. That's going to be a base hit to left field. So Escobar gets his first hit, just the 3rd hit for Kansas City in this game.
Fans, the Connie Mack Club is now open. You can bring 30 to 50 guests out to the space. It's within the Shibe Park Tavern. The seats will be located immediately in front of Shibe Park Tavern in our Plaza Club seats. This is the most premium group hospitality experience at the Coliseum. We'd like to see you out there taking advantage of this great opportunity. Go to athletics.com/groups for details.
So 1 out, here's Goins. Goins takes outside. The Mariners will go for the sweep this afternoon over the Rays at home. It'll be Snell for Tampa Bay, Hernandez for the Mariners. Mariners will be at Houston Tuesday and Wednesday, so that's a big series, even though it's just a 2-gamer. And the Rangers and the Angels will play the rubber game of their series getting started, and it's actually just underway out at the Big A. Pfister and Skaggs. These Royals will head to Anaheim for a 3-game series Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Going swings and misses, and the count is 1-2. I don't know if his hand slipped off the bat a little bit. So he was deking us thinking it was a strikeout. Yeah. I was pretty confident it was only 1-2.
You know, and there's a rule change right there. It must have been, because once you get to the batter's box, you're not allowed to go back and get more pine tar or stick them on the bat. But a lot of things change. And umpire Corey Blazer looked at him and said, "You take it too long. It took 10 seconds."
Outside. On deck is John Jay, the leadoff hitter. Orioles and the Yankees were postponed today in Baltimore. They'll play a doubleheader on the 25th of August. So they had 2 of that 4-game series games rained out. They were rained out on Thursday in Baltimore and again today. Fowler backs up. Fowler circles underneath it, and Goins is retired for the 3rd time. And here's John Jay. We also, Ray, have a no-hitter alert. Michael Wacha.
Yeah.
from the St. Louis Cardinals has a no-hitter through 8 innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates in St. Louis. And Cardinals are batting in the bottom of the 8th, so we'll keep you updated on what happens in that game at the top of the 9th. Michael Wacha.
Isn't that about 28, 6 or 7 inning no-hitters through the first 2 months of the season? I mean, there's been a lot.
0-1 to Jay. One off Lucroy's glove, and that will allow Escobar to go to second. That one just kind of popped off Jonathan Lucroy's glove.
Well, anytime you hear a lot of glove, you know it's off the glove, and just missed it.
So it is a pass ball as it looked. John Jay homered in the 3rd, his first home run of the year. Now 2-1. So you got to be careful here with Merrifield, and then Moustakas and Perez and Soler coming up after that. And I say be careful. Those are the guys that can hit the ball to the ballpark, the biggest home run threats.
Yeah.
Fly ball to Canna. Canna backs up a little bit, so John Jay is retired. So nothing more than a lazy fly ball.
Well, you get 2 fly ball outs from really non-home run hitters, and Goins to center field softly, and also for Jay to left field is Blake Trinan, the American League relief pitcher of the month of May. He's getting heated up. You know, I don't expect him to have those alternating, you know, good bad months. You know.
No, you don't think so?
Trotter's the type of guy that, I mean, you throw as hard as he does. It's, I don't know, it's anything's possible. But he's turned out to be a pretty good relief pitcher for the A's.
There's a first pitch strike to Whit Merrifield. Merrifield has walked twice and hit a fly ball to center field.
If he's up now, I would have to think that if somebody gets on base, he may be coming in now. Another one gets on base.
With Moustakas in the on-deck circle.
And I don't think at this point, even though if another runner does get on base, the tying run would be in the on-deck circle at that point. But I don't think the manager's concerned about saves, situations or not. He wants a W going into the All-Star or the off day tomorrow in Texas and try to win a series, especially after getting a big 4-run 8th inning.
And a good fastball, and he throws it right by Merrifield. And the Royals do not score. We are moving to the 9th.
Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Top of the ninth, 5-1, the A's lead, trying to win the series. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog expert. So Jason Adam, who pitched on Friday night, gave up 3 runs. So he'll face Lucroy, Fowler, and Simeon. The A's with 4 runs in the 8th inning to break a 1-1 tie. Michael Wacha's no-hitter is over. Gave up a hit leading off the top of the 9th inning. And Jason Adam reaches down and grabs it. Nice play by the pitcher. So Lucroy is out. 1 out. Lucroy 1 for 4. He did have the RBI single back in the 3rd inning. And here's Fowler. Fowler is 2 for 3, 2 singles, hit by pitch, got that 4-run 8th inning started. Fowler's had a very good series. He's 5 for 11. Of course, a couple of home runs. He has scored 3 runs. That's a broken bat base hit into right field. That means you're having a good series. When you shatter a bat and it gets through into right field. So that's his 3rd hit.
And the soft hit to lead off the 8th inning to center field. As this bat was shattered. Brian Davis on this trip, as we indicated on Friday night. So Brian will take the pieces of this bat, pack it up for Texas, or maybe just give it away. But regardless, a base hit for Fowler. He has been on base the last 4 times after striking out to start the game.
Simeon swings and misses at a fastball from Adam. Fifth at bat for Simeon. He's 0 for 3. Pop up. It looks like it's going to reach the seats. Trinan is still loosening up, but he's ready to go. Moustakis has it. He fires to second for 1, on to first, and they got him. Nice turn by Ryan Goins at second base. So that double play ends the inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Trinan coming in. A's trying to win the series here in Kansas City. They lead the game 5-1. long home run from Matt Olson. It came in the 8th inning. It turned a 2-1 game into a 5-1 game. Ray, that's a big boy home run, as we like to say.
Well, that's even better hitting on 3-0. That's what makes it a big boy. Not only to hit it like that, instead of popping the ball straight up, had a nice controlled swing. And his second 3-home run game, or home run of this series. Blake Trinan comes in. Forget about the save situation.
So Trinan tried to get the final 3 outs. His ERA sitting at 0.99. Moustakas, Perez, and Soler here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch, a big chopper. Simeon charges, picks it up in the infield dirt, flips to first, 1 away. Hey, Blake Trinan's a nice guy. We can tell you that because we know him a little bit, but we're going to show you a little video proof. He is a good guy.
He's got his parents in town, I understand, as well, and maybe showing them not only he's the American League Relief Pitcher of the Month, he's got his baseball cards. How about right field Will's got 3 of his jerseys, Kite? Do you know that? Right field Will's got 90, he said. Remember, Blake said to right field Will, he says, "You got 3? That's more than my parents have."
And he is the American League Relief Pitcher of the Month for May. 0.59 ERA, saved 10 games. Blake Trinan. Turning into quite a story for the Athletics.
That hard slider out of the strike zone, but Perez always aggressive, committed on a pitch that was not really close, trying to hold up his swing unsuccessfully.
Oh, 2 to Selby Perez. Got him swinging. No messing around there. Let's go triple digits.
Well, just upstairs and rear back. Trevino struck him out. 100-mile-per-hour fastball with movement.
So 2 quick outs here in the 9th inning. First pitch to Soler is a ball. Soler double in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. 98 miles an hour.
And you know the thing about Blake Trinan, it's an easy upper 90s fastball. It's not like he has a tremendous amount of effort, just an easy delivery, and the ball jumps out of his hand.
It really is an easy delivery. Yeah. It's not a it's not a max delivery. I don't think.
It's not. Hey, do you have an update on Waka?
Yeah, he gave up a hit.
He gave up a hit.
Yep.
Okay, because I didn't know if we. I know you said it between innings. I didn't know if our viewers might have heard. Say, hey, what's the update?
Gave up a hit leading off the 9th inning, and they took him out. Two pitch is tapped foul.
Well, when you throw a 100-mile-an-hour sinker, a lot of times this can happen, and that ball is down off the foot of Soler. It's almost like you don't want to go back in there because you just smoked one, and you see that shin guard up on the shin part right below the left knee. A lot of times it goes down close to the ankle, but this one you must foul a few in that area, which is an area that you don't want to foul a ball.
Inside, not by much. Jorge Soler may be saying it sounded inside. 99 miles an hour. So 3-2 the count. Gossett, Trevino, Petit. Now trying. Swing and a miss. Struck him out with 99, and that is the ball game, and that is the series here in Kansas City. So the A's score 4 times in the top of the 8th inning to break the tie. And they will head to Arlington on a good note by winning the series over the Kansas City Royals. So the A's now 31-29 on the year. Final score this afternoon from Kauffman Stadium: the Athletics 5 and the Royals 1. Time now for A's post-game live. Guys in the studio, including Brody, take it away.